today I'm getting prepped for some winter camping. We're going to Algonquin Park again, but the temperature is supposed to be negative 27-ish, which works out to be negative 16 or 18 Fahrenheit. And although the upper part of the cab is insulated for the Yucca pack, the bed sides aren't. So today I'm going to use some existing brackets that I have here to try and attach some wool material to the bed sides of the walls in the truck bed. The problem is the way the Colorado bed was designed is there's only a limited section of bed rail that I can actually use. So I'm going to have to use that on either side, and the blankets are fairly large. This is from Princess Auto or from Harbor Freight from you guys in the States. But giant wool blanket, essentially, and I'm going to just clamp it onto the bed rails. And then the extra length, I'm going to have to try and figure out a way to attach it. But in the meantime, because the trip is in, I leave Wednesday after work, I want to try and get some stuff done in the back of the truck before we go. So that also includes adding a Bluetooth wireless temperature, CO2, and humidity sensor to the bottom half. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. And I figured this is a good time to show you kind of what I've done so far, because every time I do something to the inside of that Yucca pack, I forget to record it. So what better chance to show off what I've done so far and some of the errors that I've already made and some of the things that obviously I'm going to need to improve on, and kind of just give you an overall understanding of what the ultimate plan is for the power system. So let's go ahead and go out to the Yucca pack and open it up. So there's the cold truck sitting there with the Yucca pack on the back, obviously. We're going to go ahead and open up the back, climb inside, and I'll show you what's been done so far. But before I do that, I kind of need my keys. So give me a second. Okay, so this is the Yucca so far. No, the camera's not on level. It's just the truck's parked on level. We do have some things that we have to work on. So if you can see in the back corner there's a little bit of snow infiltration. Same thing with along the edges here at the very back of the tailgate. Now, I knew that was going to happen because the seal on the tailgate was from a different generation Colorado. So it was a little bit taller, the tailgate was. So we're going to fix that. I'm going to add a tailgate seal on either side here and here, because with this closed there's a sizable gap between the headlight and the actual tailgate. So the seal for that is going to be here tomorrow. The temperature, humidity, and CO2 sensor is also going to be here tomorrow, which will be velcroed to that side where all the power management system is going to go. The other thing is, so this insulation here is approximately an R4 value, so it should be good down to -9. But this weekend it's not going to matter coming up because it's going to be negative 27. So I think negative 27 trumps -9 quite substantially. So anyways, similar texture, probably not as thick as the walls, but should hold the heat pretty well. So I'm going to get some of those clamps and just clamp it through. I will be walking through the Yucca pack camper as a whole in the summertime. Doing it right now is just a bit of a pain because obviously it's cold out and nobody wants to stand around, and I got to film a lot of this stuff by myself. So the basic layout will be this fridge, a single seat on the right hand side of the fridge, and then on this side we're going to do almost a full length bench, from here to just before the wheel well arch, with a single boat captain swivel style seat. So that way, I can work from the road, or my girlfriend can work from the road. She can swivel into place. The table can come down. She can put her laptop on it, and she will be able to work comfortably from within inside the Yucca pack camper. So Let me go ahead and crawl into this thing and try and find an angle that works. So that way I can just show some of the wool material walls going on for the bedside. So bear with me. I'll be right back. So just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. Again, this is temporary. Once I have stitched some Velcro onto this, I'm basically going to run Velcro seams along the edge of the bed wall, so that way in the summertime this can actually come off, and then in the wintertime it can go back on without me having to clamp it around the actual bed rails. But it actually doesn't look terrible. I think it is going to get a little wet, but there's so much of this blanket that I can kind of afford to get it wet and not completely ruin the entire R value of the blanket. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, I'll be right back and grab the brackets. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm going to do it for now. I'm going to tighten these up so that way it stays taut to the wall. And I'll show you in a second here, but I've tucked it down kind of where the floorboard is, where it's created more of that gap. Now, the other thing that I've had to deal with and figure out, which is not too big of a deal actually, is above the cab of the truck. It gets very cold, obviously, because it's metal. It's aluminum. So the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the tent open when I get to the campground, remove the bed panel that sits above the cab, and I have two bed pad mats that I'm going to stick down underneath the mattress, because the bottom side of the foam sleeping mat is reflective and insulated, so it's going to retain a lot of the heat that comes down through it and keep it where it needs to be kept. So that's the plan there, but I'm going to go ahead and get these tightened down, do the other side, and then I'll come back and kind of show you how it looks currently and obviously the improvements that need to be made. And then I can kind of also talk a little bit about my flooring that I've done, because I didn't do a video on the flooring that I did. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that as well. Have to mention, or want to mention, that I need to go to Princess Auto at some point soon before I go on this trip, preferably, because there is a light up here which as of right now does not work because I have not hooked up my power, because it's been minus fuck out here. So I'm gonna have to do that at some point. So the other thing is I don't have anything to insulate the bulkhead of where the truck bed is right now, because I don't have anything to kind of poke holes and do whatever. So I have to figure that out as well. But I think the insulation on the walls, the insulation on the tent, and the insulation on the wool insulation on the bed side of the truck, I think it's going to warm up pretty good in here. And tomorrow, when the CO2 sensor and temperature sensor gets here and I put it in here, I think we're going to notice a very good difference in temperature. And I'm going to try and monitor how quickly that temperature will fade once the heating is turned off in here. But even right now, like I'm layered up pretty good, but it's easily a 1 and 1.5 degree difference from outside, if not more, with just this insulation. Like I'm touching this insulation right now, and I don't feel any of the cold in it at all. So that's very good. Another one of those reasons as to why I picked Yucca Camper over something like an Alocab, which I'm sure they also have very wonderful insulation kits at your disposal. But this was something that I wanted, and again, I can't stress enough how important it was for me to get a brand on board with my content, and I was on board with their content that was all Canadian, made, manufactured, and putting food on the table of fellow Canadians. So I'm going to wire up this light at some point too, like I said. But yeah, let me go ahead and get finished. Okay, so this is the temporary setup. Obviously, that's what I was just showing you guys. So let me straighten this out a little bit here. Yeah, so this is what I was showing you guys. It's clamped onto the side right now. Is it going to be the most efficient? Probably not, because it's not double layered. But for what it is, and on short notice, it's going to work for what it needs to work for. Like I said, I am going to get the tailgate seal for here and for the top here. This seal, obviously, like I said, it's a little bit shorter than what it needs to be to match up with the edge of my tailgate. So we're going to do that. And then, the CO2 sensor can go in over there tomorrow. And I think I am going to try and make this kind of curtain across here for the bulkhead. But we'll see how that works. I haven't 100% decided that that's what I'm going to do. But back to the floor. I said I was going to talk about this, and I am. So this floor is honestly, it's just a piece of plywood right now here. I used EVA boat foam for a thin layer of insulation / like foam, so that way it doesn't hurt your feet when you walk around on the bottom if you're sitting there. And then underneath, it doesn't look like much, but it's actually RV insulated foam that's underneath there as well. So, it's gonna go through a few different versions. Obviously, like I said, I'm gonna have my sister-in-law stitch in rows of Velcro on the wool fabric. That way I can Velcro them to the inside of the bed walls. Once they're in there and Velcroed on, they'll be more of a permanent fixture, because then what I'll do is I will be building the seating over top of that. Unless somebody in the comments has a better idea for how to better insulate the bed walls without losing storage space under the benches, then, this is how it's going to go. But let me know in the comments if you think there's possibly a better way of doing that.